Well, good morning, everyone. Um, this video is actually a video response to another channel that I've been watching for actually quite a long time. The name of the channel is Into the Mystery 13. I am going to do my best to put a link to his channel um, in the description box below. Don't remember how to do that, but I know it's possible off of a phone. So, this this video response, he did a video just literally a few days ago within the last week, um about the whole van life thing, the housing and homeless crisis, and why so many of us have turned to living in vehicles. And he made some very valid points. I did get his permission to make this video response. I thought it would be polite to ask. I made some notes. I watched the video like 3 or 4 times so that I could cover kind of the same topics. I don't want to remake his video, but he's a great guy. I've been watching this guy for cheese, probably close to a decade. I've been watching this guy for a long time. Um, Great channel. Anyway, let's get into it. Um, the housing and homeless crisis, and I keep looking down because I made myself some notes, so that I wouldn't forget to touch on certain things. Um, First one being why van life is getting harder, and it's because a lot of people have kind of messed it up, and it's only like he said, it's like 1 or 2% of people who are living in vehicles that are messing it up for everyone. There are Okay, so let me start at the beginning of living in vehicles. Um, in my personal experience, I'm not trying to go way back in history or anything crazy like that. But let's say I remember it was 20, 30 years ago. You could just pull into a Walmart parking lot, spend the night, no problem. The problems with that became that people would come and set up, and they would like straight up set up camp. Uh, get their lawn chairs out and their sunshades, and just like they were at a campsite. Um, these days, and back then, people got away with it, but it was bad for business. I mean, yes, people were going in and spending money at the stores, but it looked bad from a public perspective. So places like Walmart pumped the brakes on that. Um, for a long time, Cracker Barrels were more than happy to let traveling people stay in their parking lot because those people would come in and spend money, get breakfast, buy dinner, whatever. Um, but like where I live, where I'm currently at, I'm in Colorado. The Cracker Barrels are like, no, you can't park here overnight. Um, Bass Pro used to be a good option. Now I'm lucky if I can get away with staying at the Bass Pro shop once a month, even though they do allow overnight parking. I am always respectful. I don't just straight up set up camp. Those of you that know me know that I'm a cigarette smoker. I do not litter my cigarette butts outside the car. I don't make a mess. I don't leave trash around. I come in late. I leave early. But even with that, not so much anymore. Sloppy campers messed a lot of that up. And I apologize also that I'm kind of looking down at the camera. I don't like doing that. Um, this is just what I have for a place to put my phone because I do everything on my phone with videoing and editing and all that. Um, uh, got to be careful of what parts of town, um, because there's a huge issue. Part of this relates to the whole homeless crisis. Um, and part of that is just due to the cost of living these days. Like in the area that I'm at, everybody says, well, not everybody, well, everybody does say, but however, you also have to figure in that the cost of living here is so high that realistically, a single person like myself, I would have to make north of $20 or $25 an hour to afford an efficiency apartment in an okay part of town. It's ridiculous. And I know there's going to be people say, well, move to some place where the cost of living is lower. And that is, in and of itself, I think, a valid argument. However, I moved to this area from an area of the country, the US, where the cost of living is lower. The problem with that being is that the jobs there pay a lot less, so you're still in the same predicament, and the only difference in problems is the number of zeros behind them. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Um, so let's talk about why people live in vehicles. There's a number of reasons. Um, for me right now, it's because it's what I can afford. Not to mention that I love traveling and stuff. That's besides the point. But a lot of people have gone to living in vehicles because that's what they can afford to do. Um, I am waiting on a disability settlement. I've been fighting it for a long time. I finally have a court date. Finally. That's not until November. So that's still a minute away. And yes, it's challenging. And I have been working for, I will just say, a food delivery service. I'm not going to say which particular one. We all know they're out there. There's these places that you can get on the interwebs on your pocket computer and be like, yeah, I want this food from this restaurant. And yes, I've been doing that on a very limited basis. Uh, and limited for a number of factors. Limited on what I can do, how many hours I can drive on crummy streets, how much money I'm allowed to actually make to satisfy, yes, this gentleman is disabled. By trade, I'm a mechanic. I can't physically do that full time anymore. And as far as I know, nobody's trying to hire a part time mechanic. And I'm not going to be able to make enough money doing it, even part time, to pay rent or utilities. And doing food delivery is not all that it's cracked up to be. It's really not. On average, half of what I make in an evening paid for the gas to do that. So I could be all high and mighty and be like, yeah, I'm going to kill myself today and make it so I have a hard time walking tomorrow so that I can make $100. But I didn't really make $100. 50 of that goes back into my gas tank. Yeah. The night before last, I drove 100 miles in my metro area to do like 6 deliveries. That's a lot of time, and it's a lot of gas, and gas is not cheap. Anyway, moving on. Places to park is becoming a huge issue, as I mentioned earlier. Like I said, you used to be, Walmart, Bass Pro, Cracker Barrel, truck stops, rest areas, home improvement stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, place like that. Used to be able to be just fine with somebody just sleeping in their vehicle for the night. That's not so much the case anymore. It's just really not. I'm sure that people are going to be thinking right now, well, what about the options of shelters? Here is my problem with going to shelters. They are multiple. There are, number one, overcrowding issues. Um, all of the shelters here in my metro area are completely jam packed. Not to mention that there's a lot of drug use and thievery going on, and I choose not to be a party to that. I just choose not to. Um, I don't have the time or the patience for it. I have pretty severe PTSD, and it's just better for me sometimes to stay away from people, which is why I enjoy, or at least feel okay with doing the whole food delivery thing, because I don't have to deal with very many people. I go into a restaurant, I'm here to pick up an order for so and so. I take it to their house. It's almost always no contact. Um, Drop it off at their door, take a picture, boom, I'm back on the road, get paid the next day. Another issue is safety while sleeping in a vehicle. Um, kind of got to feel it out what neighborhoods are okay to park in, what neighborhoods aren't. In the metro area that I live in, there are a couple of, well, maybe even a few parking lots that I feel like I'm good to go for the evening to, sleep, or a lot of times because I prefer to deliver at night when there's less traffic, I get better fuel mileage, things like that. I will find a public park and just take a nap in my car and sleep when I can get my sleep. RV parks, that is another thing. A lot of RV parks these days won't accept any vehicle that's more than 10 years old. I'm currently living in a 2001 Chevy Monte Carlo, which doesn't even really qualify as an RV, so they don't want to let that in anyway. It's getting close to being a classic car, which belongs at a show, not at an RV park. Another thing that us vehicle dwellers, whether it be an RV, van, car, whatever, something that we have to deal with and worry about, vehicle breakdowns. They happen. I don't care how dependable your vehicle is, at some point it's going to cause you problems. My vehicle has some issues. Just last week, I had to fix my passenger side windshield wiper because it decided to quit wiping. Like, seriously, like, I had this going on. Had to fix that. That's pretty important for a vehicle to have. It's got some other little nickel and dime things going on, but I'm not getting rich delivering food. I'm not making a lot of money. And because COVID happened, there are people out there that are, working remotely from their RVs, and they can go wherever they want as long as they have internet access. Starlink's a blessing for them. But they can do their jobs remotely. Good for them. Good for them. And I'm sure that they probably make a good bit more money than I do. But then again, it comes down to the number of zeros behind their problems. If they've got $1 million RV, they probably still got a banknote on that thing. For me, my bills are pretty small, so I thank the powers that be for that. Car's paid for, so I don't have a car payment. I do, however, have to still keep valid car insurance, and I have to put gas in it every day, and oil changes, and just regular vehicle maintenance. It all costs money, but I'm very limited on the amount that I can make. Not just because of my physical and mental limitations, but because the federal government says, well, you can only make X number of dollars. Great. And plus, I mean, driving around town, that seems, I'm sure to a lot of people, seems like a fairly easy task. I'm sure it does. Anyway, I'm not going to get on my pity pot because that's not what this video is about. This video is about helping people to become aware, and obviously I'm going to go through the whole spiel. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe. But I also want you to go over and check out Into the Mystery 13. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Sure, I can figure out how to do that. Might have to find a millennial to help me figure that out. I'm not sure yet. At least I still have a sense of humor about it. Anyway, this has probably been a bit of a long video, so I apologize for that. But I love you all. As always, be safe, have fun, and peace out.